phone died on me, and I had to pull over here anyways. You probably can't even hear me on this phone. Now maybe you can hear me if you're on, if anybody's on there even. But my phone died on me, and it had me turned onto a street right back here, and I had to pull in. The street was closed, so right when I pulled in there, it looked bad, but thankfully there was a big parking lot to the right, and I got over in it, and that's where I'm at right now. But sorry about that. I had no idea that phone was almost dead. I've got a weird setup like that when I'm using the hotspot to get this one connected. Right now, this one's running off of that phone, and I have my GoPro as well, but now I'm not using it. I may show the rest of the drive there and just kind of show you a view of the front of the window or something. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. Let me check here. See, now on this one I can see the chats on this one. I'm early too right now. Yeah, see, when I got it straight on my phone, I can see chat. I'm back. It says Marissa Williamson. I'm glad it's working and everything good. But I'm probably gonna have to. I'll turn it around. I don't know if you can hear me because I'm using this mic and the speaker on this phone doesn't work good. I've got another one. But right when I turned onto that road there, as soon as I turned onto it, it said road work, and it had guys doing all kinds of work. But thank goodness my first right was a big parking lot where I could turn around. Hello, James and Marissa. I'm almost there. I'm early right now, but what I had to do, I had to pull in here because this, I've talked about it a lot already. Not trying to complain, but this co-pilot gets you in trouble. Like it led me down that road and it was telling me to go straight through. As soon as I do, it's saying there's road work. It doesn't tell you stuff like that. But Google Maps seems to update and let you know stuff like that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to use this phone and after it charges, because it just died on me. Hello, Dan. But I'm going to use that phone and because I'm only, I think, let me see how close I am here. I'm 0.6 miles away from the place. Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Marissa. Yeah, it's all part of it, and you really learn that when you get into it. There is good and there is bad in it for sure, like there isn't anything else, but the good outweighs the bad to me so far. Like even the things that are stressful, I've dealt with those same things in factories and even working for myself, running my own business, equipment going down on me and stuff. At least here they take care of all of that, your equipment and all that. You've just got to deal with routing places and this, like this co-pilot routing you the wrong way. And then like the other day I set 19 hours at a place. That kind of stuff you got to deal with. And like say you're having a real good day and you're getting a lot of miles. And then all of a sudden, you go somewhere and they have you sit there 19 hours like I did. Well, that kind of ruins that for you, that hurts you a lot. And it can be discouraging, but at the same time, as long as you're with a good company that takes care of you good and everything, I think it's well worth it. And like I said, I'm not letting, one company or even, just the beginning dictate what I'm looking at for my future with trucking, because I'm looking at this as a long-term thing. And, I know after a year of experience, I'll be a lot more valuable to rail and to other places. So that's how I'm looking at it. I think that's how you should look at it. But I understand too, if you get it with a company and maybe you're not making enough to even make ends meet, then I understand trying to go somewhere else too. But I think it's worth it. Like the low end of the scale, I'll tell you the checks and stuff. I don't mind to. Like I've not had a full week yet. I have had a full week, but that week I got taken off a day to do close quarters training, and it was like around $900 or something like that. But they took $100 for some kind of deduction. I got to call them and figure out what that deduction was. So I think it can be worth it. Wow, 18 people. That's a record for me on a live. And I'm just sitting here talking. I may do these more often. But yeah, like I said, it was like $900, and I considered that a bad week. My trainer told me that he averaged like $1,300 a week starting out with the rail his first year. He said he made around $90,000 his first year. My trainer did it with rail. He made around $90,000, but that's before taxes, $90,000. But still, which is good money, in my opinion. I don't have long in trucking at all, This is my 4th week by myself. This is my 4th week by myself. So I got my CDL through Rail, the Get Your Own CDL program. And then I went with a trainer for 3 weeks. I think I was with him for about 24 days. Then I went home until they got me a truck. And then I got the truck, and now this is my 4th week in my own truck. So not very long at all in trucking. I'm still learning about it, and I'm trying to share my experience along the way. I've been trying to this whole time and being honest, the whole time, trying to be honest with people about it, because I'm not just going to tell you it's all good, because it's not. You're going to, like anything else. But do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I do. I do. I enjoy the job itself. You're not in a factory, and you're getting to see scenery. You're getting to see all kinds of places in the United States, depending on whether you're national or regional. If you're national, you're going to go out farther than I do. I've noticed regional, me living in Kentucky, I've been doing a lot of Indiana, Wisconsin, and similar places. But I haven't been going real far out. But they've kept me pretty busy. There's been days where it's been a little slower and days where they're like, one day I got over 600 miles, in a day. And these trucks don't go that fast, so I thought that's pretty good, But I'm hoping to get at least 400 miles. I don't know you all if you're considering regional or national or whatever you're considering, but I knew I wanted regional because I got 4 kids at home and a wife, and my youngest kid is 2 and my oldest is 11, so I wanted to have time with them. No, I didn't know how to drive trucks at all before I got my CDL at all. They pretty much teach you how to do that. I'd never even been in a truck before I went and got my CDL. My cousin got his and told me about it and told me what he was making, because he got with a smaller company. So he started out making like $1,300 to $1,500 a week, I think, after taxes. As soon as he started, but he paid for his CDL. He paid $5,000. He didn't go to a program like Rail to where they pay for it for you, but then you're bound by a contract. Which I think it's worth it still. I do. I think it's a good way to get your CDL. But no, I had no experience. I'd never even been in one of these trucks. So when I went to Gary, Indiana, and I first got in a truck, and they had us go over our pre-trip and everything and drive around. That was when my first time in a truck. So, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have pulled trailers. I pulled trailers for years, so that helps me a lot. I've never been in one of these trucks, but I own my own business. I did lawn care and landscaping, and I pulled trailers for about 5 or 6 years. So that did help me a lot. And they even noticed that when I was there. They said, I can tell you pulled a trailer. Backing them up is the harder part. Like, pulling them isn't so hard. You just got to watch your off tracking, around the curves and stuff like that, which is your tandems, the axles on the back of your trailer are taking a different path than your truck. Which happens, where it's so long. You just got to watch that mainly. But yeah, other than that, it's not too bad. It just takes some getting used to. You'll get some good experience with your trainer, so long as you get a good trainer. And the thing is, if you don't, you can request another trainer. I was worried about that. I was worried about getting a trainer who was going to be hard to deal with, because I'd been researching on YouTube like you all probably are. And I heard some stories about getting bad trainers, and it didn't sound too good. And I knew I didn't. For one thing, it's hard sharing space with a person, just a truck like this for that long, for 3 weeks, which some companies take 6 months some companies take 6 months before you get your CDL. You're with your trainer for 6 months. So with Rail, it just takes 3 weeks. I couldn't do the 6-month thing myself. I couldn't do it. And then another thing that I like about Rail is your trainer's awake with you the whole time you're driving. They're not sleeping, while you're driving. I don't agree with that. And I've seen a video of a trainee and a trainer getting killed because the trainer was up there in the bunk sleeping, and the trainee was new. When he should have been out there coaching them and telling them, hey, slow down, they would have both been alive, but he wasn't. He was sleeping, and they both ended up getting killed. They flipped the truck, and they showed us the video. It slid for probably 20 feet through guardrail. So the guardrail came right in the cab and killed them both. Horrible way to die. What was the hardest thing to overcome in trucking school? Probably the pre-trip. The pre-trip's probably the hardest thing. That's what gives a lot of people trouble. And that's 7 pages of stuff that you got to remember about the truck. The tractor is the truck, and then the trailer, and the end cab, they call it, which is inside here, and your air brakes. There's 7 pages of that you got to remember. But the thing is, it's really not as bad as you would think. Because a lot of it's the same thing. Like it says, properly mounted and secured, not cracked, not broken, not damaged, not cut or frayed. And you say it again and again and again. You just got to study. That's why I was telling somebody earlier, because they were saying they was kind of on the fence about it, because out of my class of 8, only 3 of us made it. But at the same time, and I'm not trying to throw these people under the bus, I've seen with my own eyes that they didn't want it very bad. Because like one of the guys, I even asked him, I said, hey, if you want to, because I seen he was struggling with his pre-trip and we was at the same hotel. I said, look, if you want to come and study together, I'll study with you. And he wasn't interested. He never did do it. Some people were staying later and going in earlier to do their pre-trip. You know, if you have the option to go in earlier, they'll let you come in earlier than the time that you start at rail. And you can study your pre-trip. And I recommend doing that. And at the hotel when you're there, or if you're local, when you're at home, study the pre-trip. That's the main thing. And then you've got to do backing maneuvers. You've got offset backing. You've got parallel parking and a straight line backing. You've got to work on those a lot too. Those are important because they'll test you on those. The first thing they tested me on when I got there at the CDL school, and I had a girl with me who was in my group, and she went out before me, and she came back in so quick I knew something was wrong. When she came back in, I knew she had to have failed or something, and she failed her air brakes. Hey, how's it going, Maximum? Maximum 5408. But yeah, she failed her air brakes test. So I felt bad for her, and it made me nervous too because I was following her. Well, I went out, and the first thing I had to do was the pre-trip. So I did the pre-trip over the whole truck, and while she was doing hers test, I was out there talking to myself, going over it again and again. And so he came out, he tested me. He makes you feel pretty relaxed. At rail, they actually make you more nervous than they do at the actual CDL place. Rail is harder on you than the actual CDL place is. And they say they do that because they put their standard up here, and they say if you can pass our standard, then you can pass their standard. Studying at home in Texas. Well, that's good. Yeah, study all that you can. And like if you go with rail, they've got their own set of words, you know. Other companies, if you study their thing, it may not be up to par with rail as far as the verbiage goes in the words. So like whatever place you decide to go to, try to make sure you get a copy of their pre-trip that you can study. Because I know that rails is different than other places. I'm trying to get a job at rail. How soon are you trying to do that, Maximum? Oh, well, that's good. That's a good step right there, doing your physical. I barely passed my vision test when I did it. And one of my eyes, I can't remember which one. It was one of my eyes that was way worse than the other one, and I didn't realize how bad it was. But I barely passed that with my vision. Everything else was good. And then the permit test, I passed that on the first try, but I downloaded some apps, and I've got a video if you ever want to watch it. If you haven't got your permit yet, and you're wanting to get in a truck, and you'll have to get your permit. That's something you have to get is your permit. You've got to have that, and you've got to have a DOT physical. At least with rail you do, and I'm sure with other ones you do too probably. Before you even go to their school, they want you to have that, or their program, they want you to have that stuff. And I drove myself to Gary, Indiana, whenever I did my Get Your Own CDL program. But then when I got to the hotel, there was like 3 of us at the same hotel that were going to rail, and we just rode together in one guy's car. Yeah, keep practicing. Make sure you're very comfortable, because when I went in there was like 3 people before me that failed, which they're really not that bad, honestly. There's 3 apps. I've got a video that says something about how to get your permit or something like that. If you watch that, I'll show you the apps that I used, and they're word for word. Those apps are with the test itself. So I definitely highly recommend those apps, and I recommend they have practice tests. I recommend doing them again and again and again until you get, pass them every time. Then when you go in there, you can go in there with some confidence and skip them. The ones you don't know, skip. It has an option for skip, and lots of people don't know that. And the thing is, if you skip, you may never have to do that question again. You don't get it wrong when you skip it. It just puts that question somewhere else, because there may be 30 questions and you only got to get maybe 20 right. So if you skip, there may be 5 other questions that you do know that you can skip on and do that. Yeah, and make sure, I think another thing too, when you do get your permit, make sure you're planning to get your CDL soon after, because I think your permit expires pretty quick. Because I remember when I got my my actual CDL came in, my hard copy, the permit was expiring, and then they sent me, my fleet manager asked me, she sent a message and said, your permit is expiring right now. She said, do you have your hard copy of your CDL so you can go out with the trainer? And it came in really just in time. I did dry van in Gary, Indiana. I did dry van. I was one of the only ones. I was the only one that passed in my group that did dry van. It was me and 2 other people, and they didn't make it. And then there was 2 guys that passed in flatbed. I am considering going to flatbed later, though. I wouldn't mind learning about a lot of these things, reefer, flatbed, tankers, all this stuff. But yeah, and at Gary, Indiana, I did dry van, but they have flatbed there as well. Like there was one group that was doing flatbed, and I was in the van group. Be going to Marshfield headquarters. Oh, well, that's close to you then. Marshfield, I think, was like 9 hours from me. Gary was like 5 hours and 40 minutes, almost 6 hours away from me because I'm in Kentucky. I'm in eastern Kentucky, so they were both a long ways from me. Oh, so you're going to reefer then? Yeah. Okay, gotcha. There was one. See, they told me though that may not be true because they told me that I had to go to Wisconsin for van too, for dry van, which was twice the distance. And they ended up letting me go to Gary, Indiana for it because there was somebody at Gary, Indiana that did reefer as well. So they may just be preferring you to go there because they told me at first too that I had to go to Wisconsin, which was twice the distance. But they ended up letting me go to Gary, Indiana in the end. And there's lots of vans there. Actually, Gary, Indiana has way more van trailers than it does flatbed, but they were telling me it was mainly a flatbed place. But it has way more vans than it does flatbed. So I'm not sure what they meant by that. Oh, well, that's really good to have all that available in your area, probably. Yeah, because I was asking my fleet manager about, because I was complaining about last week. I was very discouraged, and I was complaining about it a little bit. And I was asking my fleet manager asked me, he said, have you thought about dedicated? And I said, do they have that in my area? And he looked into it, and he said, they don't have that in your area. Yeah, they told me Gary was flatbed as well, but when I got there, they've got way more vans there than they do flatbeds. I'm not sure why they say that, to be honest with you. I'm really not. They told me that same thing, though. I'm not sure why they do that. Dedicated routes for craft. Gotcha. If I could be a dedicated route in my area, I would, but I can't. Like, there's nothing available in my area. I wish there was. And I'm kind of surprised because, like, me and my trainer went to Georgia and all around Kentucky, Tennessee, so I'm right there. So I'm surprised they don't have stuff like that there. My recruiter, I can't remember her name, to be honest with you. I can't remember her name, to be honest. She was pretty friendly, but not really. Not really. Ashley. Now, my fleet manager, my first one was very sweethearted. Her name was Amanda. She was very kind-hearted. And now I've got a different fleet manager. I'm in what they call phase 3 now. He's not my permanent fleet manager. And once I do my time in phase 3, then I'll get another fleet manager who will be my permanent, if I'm not mistaken. But it's kind of, in a way, I kind of don't like it because you get used to one person and then they switch you. But I'm liking who I got now, too. Oh, they'll probably hire you. Rail will probably hire you. They're hiring. They've got a high turnover rate. Rail does. I think all trucking companies got a high turnover rate. I'm not saying they're not safe either. I'm not saying that's why they're actually big on safety. But I had a long talk with my fleet manager. Actually, I haven't mentioned it much yet, but I told my fleet manager to come get the truck and trailer the other day and everything. I was so aggravated when I got home after that week. I said you can come and get your truck and trailer. I said, if I can't get detention pay for that 19 hours I sit there on dock, you all can come get your truck and trailer, and I'm done. I'm going with another company. And I said some more in messages to him, and he called me, and then we ended up talking, and he said he switched me from the student route to something else to where I'll get more miles. And he said, I really think this will help you. And I said, well, I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to. I said it wasn't my goal to start with rail just to quit. I said, I want to finish my contract, But I've got to make money too, at the same time. I can't just sit around on docks for 19 hours at a time or for 4 or 5 hours at a time. This time, I don't want to be doing, that's not what I signed up for. I want miles. And I'm willing to drive those miles, and they know that. He already told me, he said, yeah, I can tell you're willing to work, and which it ain't hard work. It's not hard physically. Does it drain you? Yes. These are long days. I didn't realize, the man that my mom's with, his name's Bobby, he was telling me he thought that truckers only got 8 hours of drive time a day. No, you get 11 hours of drive time, 11. But your on-duty clock is 14 hours. By the time I get up in the morning And by the time I go to bed, normally I get up early. I get up at like 3:30 in the morning. My trainer kind of got me used to that schedule, and I really like that schedule because it's easier in the evening if you go to a truck stop to try to find parking. If you go in at like after 6 p.m., they're pretty full up, and the ones that spots that are there, they're harder to get into when you're not very good at backing, and you're not going to be at the beginning unless you've pulled trailers for years or something. And even with me pulling trailers for years, they're not like these trailers. They're similar, but they're different still. You're from Kentucky too, Clint. That's neat. There's another guy named Jacob from Kentucky who's thinking about coming to rail. My cousin too said he was thinking about it. So, but yeah, I'm liking it so far. I think it's worth it. It's a fun journey, and when you get your truck, it's so rewarding. When you actually get your own truck, it's a really rewarding feeling. Your mom's a trucker. I'm not sure. Are you talking to me or somebody else? My mom's not a trucker. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else though. He's having a hard time finding it. Really? Yeah. Lots of places I looked up in order to get a job, they didn't just want a CDL; they wanted a year of experience with it as well. If I would tell your brother to try somewhere like rail because they'll take you with your CDL too. You've got to go through some sort of. It's not like the whole 3-week program with them. You got to do something for like a week, I think, with them if you've got your CDL already. But they can get him started. I think it's a great avenue, rail is, to get started, and it may be in the long run too. Like I said, my trainer was clearing after taxes $2,500 a week. My trainer was. He's only been here 3 years, and his first year he said he made $90,000. So. Oh, 2100, probably for like where they deliver alcohol and stuff like that, I'm guessing. Willie on Wheels. I've seen you on there quite a bit, Willie. Yeah, that'll be neat when you get that. You'll be glad you did, I think. You've had your class A in the past. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not sure how like if you got your own CDL, if you did it yourself and didn't go through a program like Rail, I'm not sure what company you would get started with because many of them I've looked up want a year of experience, except for the ones that help you get your CDL. My cousin somehow found a guy, but here's the thing: this guy that he worked for him for like 6 months, and the guy went out of business. And the guy went out of business, and now my cousin's, I think they call that an orphan when you're a trucker and your company you work for goes out of business because you got no one to work for at that point. So he was thinking of coming to rail, and he may do that still. Oh, you have to be 21 to drive interstate driving. Really? That's odd. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, yeah, I don't know. I had never knew that. I thought if you was 18, you could drive on the interstate. Hmm. Yeah, that'd be hard for him then. I'm not sure how that would work in that situation. Oh, okay, for federal law and for most insurance. Yeah, Tim, that's a good thing. It sounds like you're doing good. I think it's worth it. I do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you there ain't no tough times like there isn't anything else. There's some very stressful times. There are, but there's some very relaxing times too. And I've gotten used to this lifestyle already. I miss my wife and kids, but like I said before, um, it's not much different than like a Monday through Friday job, a week job. When you're home, I'm saying when you're home and you're working Monday through Friday, a 9 to 5 job. It's not much different because by the time you get done, me anyways, at some of the longer shifts I used to have, because I've worked 12-hour shifts before at factories and stuff. By the time I got home, I might would mow the yard or something like that and spend some time with my kids, but then not too long after, I'd be going to sleep. Well, that's how it is in this, but you're working, you've got 14 to 16-hour days in this usually, in trucking, you do. And then you go to sleep and you've got 10 hours off, so you got plenty of time to rest and do what you need to. You have to take that 10-hour reset, and then the next day you continue from there. Yeah, that's the same thing they did to me, Clint. Like I had to get my permit and I had to get my physical done, my DOT physical. I had to have both of those. Another thing too, make sure you can pass a drug test, because there was a guy that got walked out for that. They do a hair follicle test at rail. I don't do drugs at all. I really don't. I don't even drink alcohol. Yeah, I hate factories myself. I've even worked 14-hour shifts at one factory, and I hated it. Ugh, I hated it. I don't like factories, being stuck in a building all day. And no disrespect to factory workers, no disrespect to factory workers, because that stuff is needed. It is. And some people probably like that. Some seem to. Me, I do not. Like in this, I love it. When I worked for myself, I did landscaping and firewood, so I was outside, and I loved that. When I was a little boy, I was with my papa all the time, and he did roofing, and I loved being outside and riding to the job sites with him. And that's kind of how trucking is. Like you're not inside, you're in a truck, but you're seeing the outside all day. And I really love that about it. And you dictate your pace and stuff too. If you want to slow down a little bit, you can. But sometimes, of course, they don't want you being late to appointments and stuff. But like right now, I'm sitting here doing this because I'm really early. I'm very early here. There's lots of Uber drivers and stuff that come to trucking, from what I've heard. Actually, I had to get rides through Lyft and Uber through rail. They pay for them for you a lot, quite a few. I'd never even been in one until I started at rail. And they were telling me some of them had their CDLs and were getting their CDLs and stuff. That guy's picking up cans over there. Feel sorry for people like that. How many months did you have to train to become a trucker? Well, you've got to get your CDL first. You've got to get your CDL. And that takes, I think, oh, never mind. I was gonna give him some money, but he's drinking, I think. Alcohol, probably. He might be drunk, actually. Hey, that's good that you don't do drugs or alcohol. So how many months did you have to train? So in total, it's 2 months, really, because you've got to get your CDL, which takes about 3 weeks, and then you got to go with a trainer for 3 weeks. So in total, it's around, give or take, 2 months. Really, 2 months or a little less, really. And then you get your own truck after that. So I'm on my 4th week of being in my own truck, is what I'm on right now. It's worth it, I believe. I do. I'm excited about the future in this. Like I said, this is something that I see the potential in. Everywhere you go on these interstates, they're covered in trucks, And I know people that do trucking and have done it for a long time, and I see how well they do with it. And I talked to some people on here, Mike of the North and Kevin from the Norvik Way. They both got a lot of experience. Yeah, I would be too, Maximum. Here's the thing, though. Don't think that your first year you're going to be like making a whole lot of money, because I don't think you will your first year. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But like I said, my trainer made $90,000 his first year, so I would prefer a local route, and you can clear $100,000 a year with local routes. But the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, lots of those local routes want you to have like a year of experience or better. So in my opinion, honestly, from what I've seen, something like rail is great to start out in, at least. If nothing else, it's still good to stay in if you want to. It depends on if you want to be an owner operator, because you can at rail after 6 months, which I think is awesome. After 6 months here at rail, you can apply, you can go and get, as long as you have no accidents or violations, you can get in their owner operator program, and I think it takes around 4 years to pay the truck off. But even like my trainer said, even with his payments, he was making clearing $2,500 a year. So you can make good money at rail pretty quick if you want to. Wildbeard, you should watch Wildbeard. Is that a truck? Is he a trucker? How is the freight loads with rail? Do you stay busy enough to stay busy and have livable take-home pay? Well, I've not been in it long enough to really say, honestly. I'll tell you what I've made so far. It's not been the greatest, and I've kind of been a little disappointed with it. Like, this past check that I got was my first full week's pay by myself. So I've not been here. This is my 4th week having my own truck by myself like this. And it was, by the time they took a deduction for like $100, I'm not sure what that deduction was, so I need to call and figure out. But if it wasn't for that deduction, it was around $900 is what it was. And that's for a week. And not a great week, on miles. But now I think my trainer said he averaged his first year 1,300 a week. He averaged 1,300 a week his first year. But now after 3 months you get a raise, after 6 months you get a raise, and then I think after a year you get a raise as well. I'm in a Freightliner. 2022 Freightliner. I think that, I don't know if they're still, it seems like they're getting rid of the internationals a lot. I was at Texas, the terminal in Texas, and a guy there, he was a younger guy. He had been with rail over a year, and he was kind of disappointed because he was in an international right then and there, and he said, yeah, they told me to come to this terminal. They're taking my international and giving me a Freightliner. So they were selling his international for whatever reason. And prays at the end of his videos. That's good. That's good to pray. Positive is good too. That's really good. I'll check him out then. Wild Beard. But yeah, so far I'm happy with it. Like I said, it has its ups and downs. It's adventurous, really. I mean, I don't like being in the same place every day, and that's one good thing about trucking. You're all over. You're not at the same place. I've not been at the same place ever, hardly, yet. I'm sure I probably will eventually. I mean, as far as the same customers and stuff and shippers, I've not been at the same places. You're from Cincinnati. So I just went through Ohio just a little bit ago. I went through Cincinnati not that long ago. Like last week, I went through Cincinnati. That's a pretty big city, too. To me, I'm a small town guy, though. I'm from Kentucky. I live in Kentucky. So these big cities, like right now, I think I'm in Detroit. They're huge to me. They're huge. Completely different than the little towns I'm used to in Kentucky. You've watched my videos and my journey. I appreciate that. Hopefully I've said something that can help you in some way or another. I'm still new to this, but I'm learning each and every day. I'm learning something. And something I'm learning too is there's some people out here that are very respectful to you as a trucker, and there's some that are very disrespectful. Like those cops that woke me up the other day. I think they were security or cops. One, I was in a parking lot and it was like a police museum, and I was out of time, so I was just parked there. It was a big parking lot. And there were no cars there, but like 6 in the morning, they knocked on my window, waking me up, but they were very respectful. He said, yeah, you're fine, don't worry about it, we're just checking on you. We just wanted to check on you. I live in, is that Batavia? Is that how you pronounce that? About 25 minutes from Cincinnati. So I probably went through your area too then here recently. I seen where you commented the other day, Willie, on in one of my videos where you said I was near your area. That bridge I was crossing there is a beautiful bridge, big bridge. I try to get that stuff in my footage. I've got a video coming up. I may post it tonight. Yesterday, I locked my keys in my truck. That's first. I locked my keys in my truck like a dummy. You know how much it cost me to get a locksmith to come and get them out? $200. And I sat there for probably 2 hours waiting on them. And I was in the way of some of the other trucks. I know that's a noob move. I'm a noob. And I even had my wallet, a spare key in my wallet. And because I had that happen before, but I had that spare key in my wallet, so I was able to get in. But this time I put my wallet up here because it was uncomfortable riding with it. And as soon as I got out, I realized what I'd done. Locked my keys in the truck. $200. So I don't even want to think about it. It bothers me so bad. Which I'm kind of over it too at this. East side. Or E-logs, the biggest downside of trucking. You're talking about, I guess you're talking about your logs on your computer. They're not that bad. The biggest downside to trucking to me is just so much is out of your control. Like all you can control is what you can do. You know, they give you these orders and you drive, but there's things like the other day I set 19 hours on the dock. 19 hours on the dock. That was completely out of my control. I got there at 12:55 p.m. in the evening. My appointment wasn't until 3:50. I went in, they wouldn't take me early, so I sat there till 3:50. They docked me around 4:20. And then I sat on the dock. They didn't even start touching the trailer until like 10 o'clock that night. By then, my clock was completely depleted. And so I drove under 5 miles an hour so I didn't get a violation and parked so I could get off that dock because there was another guy waiting on me to get off that dock. And then the next morning when I went to get my paperwork, nobody was in the office, so I had to wait for him to get there at 7 a.m., get my paperwork, and then finally I told the woman, I said, ma'am, because I stood there and they're very unprofessional at that place. I'm just telling you the truth. Me and like 5 other truckers were standing there, and she just acting like we wasn't even there. And finally I said, ma'am, I said, can you give me my paperwork? I've been here 19 hours. I'm ready to get out of here. And she said, oh, you need your paperwork. And then she gave it to me and I left, thank goodness. But that's the biggest downfall to trucking to me is there's things that are out of your control that will affect your pay and you that are out of your control. Like these shippers that you go to, you know, or the consignees that you go to, how fast they load you or unload you. You may be doing great that day and getting good miles and everything's going great, and then you get somewhere and they sit there and hold you there for 5 or 6 hours and your clock's running that whole time. Once you start your on duty time, it doesn't stop. You can have a dog, but you've got to wait for 6 months before you can. That's something I didn't know at first. Or if you've got a kid you want to bring with you, and your child has to be 10 years old at least. Like I've got a little boy who's 11, Carter, and I really want him to come, and he will be coming some, Lord willing. But you have to wait until your 6 months are up before you can bring a pet or a child with you. But yeah, if that answers your question, Chris, to me the e-logs aren't that bad. These just take a little time to get used to. These aren't too bad. The biggest downfall to me is just things that are out of your control, you know, things that are out of your control. But I also was told that the miles and stuff pick up a lot in the spring and summer. Not that I haven't been getting miles lately, but there's been sometimes too where I've been having to sit, and I think what area you live in and whether you're regional or national is going to affect you a lot too. Because like my fleet manager told me, getting me loads to go home is hard for him, it seems like, every time. He said, that's why I told him, I said, are you short on loads or what? And he said, well, in your area of Kentucky, it's hard to get you a load to go home sometimes. So, have a good one, Maximum. Appreciate you dropping in and everything. Take care. Am I going to get a Garmin? I'm debating that or just using my phone because the phone works pretty much like a Garmin. But I may get a Garmin because my trainer gave $400 for his. That's the only thing that's stopping me from it for right now. That's one thing I wish they would furnish things a little bit more, you know. Like that mini fridge I had to buy that. I still need to get me a microwave because like sometimes I'll have coffee and I don't like it cold. But I can't just heat it up, you know, in a microwave because I don't have one. So that's something I need to get. But I may get a Garmin. But what I've been doing is like I have 2 phones and I've got one mounted here. Like what I'm about to do right now is I'm going to type the address from here in on this phone on Google Maps because this is taking me down the street where they're doing road work at, and it's acting like it doesn't even know that that's going on. And it does that a lot. I'm telling you right now, do not depend on this Copilot. Make sure you have a backup because it will lead you to dead ends. Then when you leave that dead end, it'll lead you to the wrong way, and it'll get you in trouble in these trucks when you know, it may take you down roads you're not even supposed to be down. The home of bluegrass. I live in Ohio County, Kentucky, the home place. Is that the home place for bluegrass? Because I've actually been on the soil where they found bluegrass at. And I think that was in Mount Sterling, Kentucky, which is the county that I live in. And there's a sign there that says this is the property is so many yards from here, where they actually named it Bluegrass. And I thought that was really neat. I was getting firewood from the guy there. It's what I was supposed to be doing. I was coming to look at what he had down. And there's it's like one of those old stone signs, and it was engraved into it and said, this is the Kentucky Bluegrass was named so many yards from that sign. I thought that was awesome. Are you saying, can you bring your girlfriend with you? I think you've got to have 6 months before you can bring a passenger at all, but you can bring your girlfriend after 6 months. But I think you've got to have 6 months. I haven't got a headset, no. That's something I need to get, though. And a radio. I don't have a CB radio. I'd like to get one of them as well. 22 people? Wow. That's the most I've ever had on a live. I've not done many lives, but that's pretty neat. 22 people. That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, I'll have to do these more often then. Seems like lots of people are interested in trucking. Let me show you the area I'm at here if it'll let me turn it around. See, I'm in this big parking lot here. Thank goodness it had room to turn around. Let's see. What is your plan for the rest of your day? Well, for right now, I'm early at this next customer, so I'm probably about to go on and head there and see if they're going to take me, because like I said, once you start your clock, it doesn't stop. And right now it's running, and I've got 7 hours and 12 minutes of drive time, 8 hours of on duty time. So what I'm probably going to do, I'll probably end this live here soon and head on to the customer and see if they'll take me early, because I want to try to get as many miles as I can, because today I haven't got that many yet. I've got 223 miles today so far, which I didn't get to start until later today because I drove into the night last night. I don't know if I said that on this live, but yesterday was the first time I started on a Sunday. And that's what I'll do from now on, I guess. I didn't know that was regional. I thought regional was Monday through Friday, and then you had all day Saturday and Sunday off, but that's not the case. Like whatever time you get home Friday, 48 hours from that time is when they expect you to go out on Sunday. So I didn't leave yesterday from home until I think it was around lunchtime, 12, and I drove until about 10 o'clock at night, and that's the first time I ever drove at night. And that made it to where I couldn't get up very early this morning because I had to wait for that 10-hour reset, which was around 8 this morning, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You could take your girlfriend, Clint, after 6 months. You can take a passenger after 6 months. Oh, bluegrass music, gotcha. I was actually on the property where they discovered bluegrass, so I thought that was awesome. I mean, bluegrass grass. I thought that was awesome. I see what you're saying now. Have you considered doing specialized trucking, such as cattle hauling or getting a hazard? I have. I want to get as many endorsements as I can. Like I said, I want to make myself as valuable in this as I can. And even those oversized loads, I think those pay better too. And they asked me if I had a passport to Canada. When I first started, I think my recruiter asked me that. She said, "Do you have a passport to Canada?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, that might be something you should look into because that would open other opportunities for you." And I would love to go to Canada. I'd love to see Canada. That's somewhere I've wanted to go for a long time. They have lots of woods that I'd like to split because I know some of you all there watching for trucking probably may not realize that, but I love splitting wood. And something I'm hoping to do with this trucking is split woods in these different states and make some videos on that as well. But yeah, I'd like to do specialized trucking and go to Canada. Because see, like if I want to stay, I'm regional, so I'm gone for 5 days. We're really 5.5, 6 days. But if I want to stay out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, I can, anytime. All I got to do is tell them ahead of time and say, "Hey, look, I'd like to stay out another week." And they'll be glad to let you do that. That's why I like being regional. I have that option, you know. If I was national, I wouldn't have that option. They'd want me to stay out all the time like that. So I like being regional myself. And a dedicated route, like someone mentioned earlier, if you live in an area where they got a dedicated route, I think that'd be great. Because that's what my trainer was on, where he said he made $90,000 his first year. Was a dedicated route where he worked Monday through Friday and then was off the weekends. 27. Wow, that's impressive. For me, that's impressive, 27 people. But yeah, I would consider that for sure. And I thought about flatbed as well, honestly. Like Mike of the North on YouTube was telling me he recommended me getting in a flatbed. It pays more, flatbed does, but you've got to get comfortable at strapping your loads down and everything, tarping them and everything. So James, are you already driving? Sounds like you're already driving. Getting ready to get my TSA check for hazmat. If you all go to rail, let me know. Any of you, if you end up actually going to rail, let me know how it goes for you. And who your instructor was. My instructor at rail, his name was Roderick. There was another instructor there named Chris. I liked him a lot. He ended up, he wasn't there when I went back because I asked about him here recently and he wasn't there already. There's my wife messaging right there, Chastity. That's good. What are you talking about, Chastity? Trucker 410 here. So you're going ahead and getting all your endorsements and stuff completed before you do. Are you going to rail, James? Are you going through rail to get your own CDL program? There's other companies too, like Prime. Prime is an example. Somebody was asking me about this in the comments here recently, and they said they were considering between rail and Prime, they said. And for me, that's an easy decision, rail all the way. And the reason why is because Prime, I think you've got to do 6 months with your trainer before you get your own truck, which to me is ridiculous. I couldn't do it because of that. I couldn't do 6 months with a trainer. 3 was long enough for me, and I'm not talking bad about my trainer, but I'm saying sharing space in this little truck. See here, that's not a lot of space. Sharing this space right here, you know, with somebody else, another adult, for 3 weeks is a long time. But you're talking about 6 months with Prime. 6 months before you get your own truck. And your trainer will be sleeping while you're driving a lot. And I don't like that either. My trainer sat right there, and he let me drive the whole time pretty much. The first day my trainer drove, but then after that, he sat right there, and I drove the whole time. And he just kind of coached me, which I like. I think that needs to happen. Like I said, that video they showed us, it was a trainer and a trainee. The trainer was up there in the bunk, and the trainee, it showed him do it, flipped the truck, and they went through guardrail for like 30 feet, and it killed them both. But if he would have been awake sitting right there, he could say, whoa, whoa, slow down, slow down, which is what a trainer's supposed to do. All right, Clint, take it easy. Take it easy. Good hearing from you. Catch it. I'm going to try to avoid chopping my leg if I can. I'm not chopping trees, period, no more without some kind of protection. I'll keep splitting the way I do, but I've never got myself splitting, but I won't be chopping no more without some kind of protection. 169 Academy. Oh, so that's the place you're going to then. I've never heard of that. 169 Academy. 160 Academy. Gotcha. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Chastity. 410 meaning all the info you need about trucking here. That's my wife. I'll probably get off here before long, but you all let me know this too. And that was my plan. I started this way out. I told you I'd do them. Would you be interested in seeing me go in these places live? I'm talking about with I've got a mount that goes right here on my chest. It would show you the process that you're going to be doing. Like when I'm about to get to this place as an example, I'm just half a mile from there. So would you be interested in me getting to a place like that and having my camera right here and you actually seeing me go in and seeing me check in with them and seeing the whole process, me back into the dock? Would you be interested in that? Let me know. The farthest from home I've driven so far by myself is Wisconsin. By myself. Since I've been by myself. Me and my trainer went all the way. We went to Oklahoma, to Nebraska, Louisiana. I'm not sure which would have been the farthest from home. It wasn't Oklahoma. What's the other state right next to Oklahoma? It's really flat. Has tornadoes all the time. Oh, okay. Got it, James. Just forget it, LOL. It is beautiful to have my wife's support. I'm blessed with a good wife and 4 beautiful children. And that's why I'm doing this, this job. That's why I'm doing this for them. But yeah, I would say that probably Wisconsin's about as far as I've went by myself. Okay, I'll try to show you as much as I can about it. And I'll tell you this, some of the people have been uncomfortable with the camera because, like, I'm uploading a video tonight. I plan to if I have time. Between trucking and then life, and then still trying to split wood when I can and spending time with my family and then editing these videos, that's all my time pretty much. And sleeping, that's all of it. Because these videos take a long time to edit. They do. Finally, someone to understand. It's probably just me misunderstanding it. It's good to hear from all y'all. I never had a live with this many people, honestly. I think I had 29 earlier, 24 right now. I've never had a live with that many people, so that's very interesting. Which I've only not done many lives. This is like my 3rd one, I think. 3rd or 4th. Kansas, that's it. Yeah, Kansas. That's exactly what I was trying to think of. I'm horrible with maps. I really am. But I went to Kansas as well. You live in Nebraska. That's where my trainer lives as Nebraska. That's where I met him at. They flew me from, I don't know why they put me on a connected flight. I'd never even been on an airplane at that time when I started with rail. Never been on an airplane. I've never been in a lift. I'm a small town Kentucky guy. But they flew me from Lexington, Kentucky on a connected flight to Texas, Houston, Texas, I think, or Dallas, Texas, one of them. And then from there, they flew me to Nebraska. And then they got me a lift ride from there to a hotel. And the next morning, I met my trainer at the Walmart. He parks at the Walmart there, which is about 3 miles from his home. I met him there, and for 2 days we got delayed because that was back in the winter when I went, which it's still, winter's pretty about over, but it was in the heart of winter when I started my training. So I went through some bad weather. I've seen a lot of bad wrecks. If you watch some of my videos of trucking over the road with my trainer, you'll see that. You should definitely watch that because that'll give you your perspective of what it's kind of like being with your trainer. Which maybe not the same because they're all different trainers, but it'll kind of show you. I tried to be as detailed as I could, and that's what I try to do in my videos. I don't want to make just entertainment. I want the videos to be educational. I mean, to help in some way or another as well. It's been good talking to everybody though, and I'll try to show you as much as I can. Like I said, I'll put these on and go in there live and show you, as I'm going in there, and I'll do talks live every now and then and stuff like that. I'm just now getting in the truck, and and some of y'all have seen the whole process of that so far. And from here, it's just kind of showing. So it'll be my first year that I'm showing now at this point. A newbie trucker, a noob, 4 weeks in with his own truck is where I'm at now. I like Nebraska. I think it's a beautiful place. Yeah, I did. That's how I looked at it. I got some great experience starting that time of year, and I had help with me, in that time. That's what my trainer said. He said if you were by your, if you didn't face this now with me, later next winter you would face it by yourself. He said at least now I can kind of help you with certain things. You don't want to go fast on ice. You don't really want to drive on ice. Period. You don't want to drive on ice. If you can avoid it, I would. I would try to avoid ice. Period. Now, snow you can drive on. You can drive on. I reduced my speed a lot on snow, and that's what they tell you to do. Some of those guys were flying on it like it wasn't even any snow on the road. And I seen some of them slide too. But there was one place we went through. I can't remember what state it was. And that night we were getting to the truck stop, and over the CB radio, I think it was, or maybe just the radio because there's a weather station, it was saying that we were getting freezing rain, and we were just parking for the night. Well, the next morning we went out, and we passed probably, I would say, 20 or 30 trucks that were flipped. Either jackknifed or flipped on the side of the road. I guess they had tried to go through that freezing rain. And some of them were bad too. I mean, some of them I don't know if they lived or not. I don't know that they lived. I hope they did, but I don't know after seeing their trucks. And it just kind of put into perspective to me, wow, yeah, you can get killed out here easy doing this. But yeah, I look at it that way too. I got some really good experience with my trainer. And we went to some big cities too, and took wrong turns. And he said that was a good experience. He said, because sometimes you will take a wrong turn, and he said just don't panic, just try to get back on route. Rail is great company that take care about their drivers. I think so too. I think so too with the Rail. So far, I think the same thing. The only thing I'm disappointed with right now that I have been disappointed with recently wasn't really Rail's fault. It was like the customer I was at, like sitting for 19 hours. That was out of Rail's control, Yeah, that's true. You got to be careful doing this for sure. I heard a man say it before, and he was right what he said. He said, in this line of work, complacency kills in this line of work. Complacency kills in this. You got to realize what you got in your hands. Sometimes you're 80,000 pounds moving down the road, and your hands are what's controlling that, you. So you got to remember that. And like they say all the time, expect the expected. That's one of the things that Rail says. And what they mean is like, expect that person to pull out in front of you, Expect that person to try to beat you. And expect that light to turn red all of a sudden, Expect every now and then there'll be times I'm on the interstate going 65 fast as this will go. And out of nowhere, not very far ahead, the cars are completely stopped on the interstate. Thank you very much, Willie. I appreciate I've been seeing your comments too, by the way, Willie, and I appreciate that. I comment back to all my comments, but I've been so busy lately I ain't had time, so I've just been putting a heart on them. Because I feel bad if I comment to one person and don't to other people. But when I get spare time, I'm going to try to do that. I do see your comments and stuff, and I appreciate that so much. I truly do. That means a lot. That y'all are taking your time to comment to me means a whole lot to me. It does. Yeah, you're right. Detention pay. And I actually talked to my fleet manager about that. And we're supposed to find out about it. His truck broke down yesterday. I've heard that can delay you too for quite a while. And you don't get paid for that either, from what I understand. Like when that happens, so that's rough too. Things like that happen in trucking, That one comment, I can't read it. It's in Spanish or something. How you doing, Dennis? I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. How do you pronounce that name? Beau. You can spell Polish? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what you're talking about, Bo, or however you pronounce that name. You too, James. I appreciate it. Appreciate it a whole lot. Everybody that came today, I appreciate it. Dennis Gomez Elves. Crying. Oh, okay. Well, that that makes more sense than that makes more sense that you're 8. I do listen to stuff while I drive sometimes. I'll actually turn on YouTube videos because there's certain YouTube channels I watch, and I'll turn them on and listen to them while I'm driving. And also, I've got the Bible app on my phone. I'll listen to that sometimes because I've got a cord. I couldn't figure the Bluetooth out on that, so I bought this cord from a truck stop, and it lets me hook my phone up to the CD player, and I can play whatever's on my phone, while I'm driving down the road. So that's pretty neat. Do you like Apple? Do I like Apple? Oh, you just now learned how to watch live YouTubers. Got you. I understand. I've got a 7-year-old at home, so he's about your age. Oh, Apple phone, is that what you're saying? that makes more sense. As iPhone or Android. Is that what you're saying? Do you like it? That was dumb on my part. If that's what he's talking about. I've got an iPhone and an Android with me, actually. The one that I'm looking on right now is an iPhone. This one's an Android I just recently bought for my mom. And her old phone that I bought her, she liked it better. So she said, so I ended up keeping this one. It's got twice the memory of my iPhone. I like iPhones a lot myself, but this one has twice the memory. And this GoPro has been filling my phones up. It takes such high quality videos. I've never had one. It takes 5K videos. So my iPhone's 60 some gigabytes. I'll upload 1 day's worth of videos from this to my iPhone. It fills it up completely. And so it's good having these phones. So you all understood that one. What's your question? I turned 8 not that long ago. Yeah. What's your question? I don't know how to pronounce your name. If it's Bo or... How's it going, Paneled Bucket? Do I have a son? I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. My youngest is a girl. She's 2. And then I have a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and an 11-year-old. All mine are little. Future trucker. Maybe so. I've talked with my son about it. He's definitely going to be with me in these videos, and we're getting 2 little dogs. I've got 1 big dog at home, and we've got 3 cats. We live in the country, but I'm gonna have 1 dog in the truck with me, but I can't do it until 6 months. I'd have it right now, because you do get lonely out here sometimes. My name? Are you asking my name? My name is Dylan. My first name is Michael, but I go by my middle name, Dylan. How much is the average trucker's salary? I think your first year, it's like 80,000 or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, it probably depends on what company you start with. But now it goes up a lot after your first year. And depending, like I said, with Rail, after 6 months, you can become an owner-operator or a trainer. If you want to be a trainer, some of y'all are interested in that, and you think you could do that, you wouldn't even be driving very much. You would just be sitting there training them. And your pay goes up a lot if you do that. And my trainer told me when he first started training, they gave him a brand new truck, 2023. They took the truck he was in and gave him a brand new truck. And another thing with being a trainer, you're almost guaranteed miles because they want that trainee to get miles. Me and my trainer, it was no problem for us to get miles when I was with him. My oldest is 11, so I don't have a teenager. Palestine. We will never give up on the issue, nor will our tongues remain silent, and regardless of deception, the voice of truth will remain loud. Do I watch movies? Not really. I don't really watch television or movies. I watch mainly I like reality, I'm not big on watching actors, to be honest with you. I like more like real stuff. So YouTube I like a lot. I don't have a teenager yet. I've got one that's 2 years from it. You might learn stick and be a trucker. Well, lots of companies are going away from standards entirely. Like Rail doesn't have any that I know of. But I would like to learn stick. My first truck that I ever had was a stick shift. 1995 Ford F-150 5-speed. You have a cat or dog? At home I have 3 cats and 1 dog. I had 2 dogs, and he died recently. No, the trainer truck is the same as mine. Same exact thing. I don't know if this will connect or not when I do this. Mine's a mess right now, but I'll show you if this will stay connected. So you've got your bunk, you know, there. And then mine don't even have a mattress up there right now. I could lift that up if I wanted, but I've been storing stuff up there. You've got your cabinets. I had to buy this fridge here. You've got a closet there. You've got plenty of space, you know. I mean, really, you've got plenty of space for two people if you need it. But your pay does go up as a trainer. I do think there's benefits to being a trainer. It depends on whether you like having your space or not, you know. And I do. But his truck is actually the same exact as mine, but 2 years newer, I think. Maybe just 1 year newer. That is a weird comment. Goodbye. I'm kind of good at... You're not even 16 and already good at stick shift. That's good. Yeah, I know. I noticed that. My wife might be the moderator. Yeah. You smoke cigarettes and you're only 8 years old. You're already smoking? You're just smoking at 8 years old? You better quit that smoking. No, really. Hopefully you're not 8 years old and smoking. That's something I don't do. I don't smoke. Me and my wife, neither one smoke. And I don't even let it around my kids. I'm going to private school to learn on manual so I don't get the... Yeah, I understand that. That's good to not have that restriction. I think most companies, though, are going to automatics now. I know Rail, I think, is all automatics. And I think the reason why is because they know that in the long run, they take care of themselves pretty much, these trucks do. There's lots of things that can go wrong with the stick, which I like sticks, and lots of men that have been in it for a long time. Like one man told me, he said, if I had to drive an automatic, I wouldn't even be a trucker, he said. But then another man told me something similar, and he said once he got into an automatic and started driving it for a while, he actually liked it a lot. Wow, we've been live for 62 minutes now. 22 people and 8 likes. That's pretty neat. Is it a Tesla truck? No, this is a Freightliner truck. I hate you, Scoot. Well, that ain't good to hate anybody. 80% of trucks are automatic. I think so too. Psych dice. Yeah, I don't know how to moderate, but I will get my wife to do that in the future. Cause oh, hold on a minute. Let me see. There we go. That'll probably take care of it. I just figured it out. Maybe. Yeah. I think I just figured it out. See, I'm not good at these lies, but you want the manual experience. I understand that completely. There's a guy named Mike of the North. He's from Canada, and he drives a Peterbilt. And he drives stick shift, and he's really good at it. You should check him out sometime if you haven't seen him. Mike of the North. I've been talking to him, but way before I even got into trucking on YouTube. I've been on YouTube going on 2 years. This August will make 2 years I've been on YouTube. If you look at my videos, most of them are wood splitting, you know, firewood. And I'll continue to do firewood videos, but I'm definitely going to do trucking now too. I think I got rid of, I maybe somehow blocked Tyson. Not trying to be mean, but I'm not gonna allow people to come in and just spread trouble either, if I can do something about it. Hey, that's the first time I've ever got a troll. I usually don't have very many people in the live chat, so that must show some progress on my channel. He drives a Peterbilt. He drives a Kenworth sometimes as well. Both of those seem like great trucks to me. I've heard those Kenworths are really fast trucks, but Peterbilt seem like lots of people prefer those. Yeah, I think Chassie would be a good moderator too. She watches one of my cousins who does homesteading a lot. Her name's Kinsey, or my cousin's wife. Her name's Kinsey, and they got a channel called Lantern Creek Farm. If you like homesteading, you'd probably like her channel a lot. And I told my wife she should be her moderator because I seen some comments on her channel the other day when she was doing a live that I didn't like. And I know Kinsey didn't like them either. Yeah, I'll do that. If my wife will be interested, Well, I didn't expect this live to do this well. I'm just sitting here in my truck talking, so that's pretty neat. I put him in timeout. I did something. I held my finger on his name, and it gave me the option to do something. Oh, put user. I hit hide user on this channel is what I did. Oh, add as moderator. Well, there we go. There's an option right there. I'll just click on Chassie's name and do that now. Add as moderator. Standard moderator. I just made her a moderator, I think. Yeah, it says Chassie is now a moderator for your channel. Yeah, you're already a moderator now, Chastity. You're a moderator now. Does it show you as a moderator on there? I guess I'm going to get off here soon and try to get to this customer and see if they'll take me in early. But this has been the coolest live I've ever had. I got to talk to a lot of you all on here and got more views than I've ever got on a live, I believe, and more people, almost 30. To me, that's a lot. Normally, 10 likes, so I'm very happy with all that. You have 34 hens. That's quite a bit. I love homesteading too. I've had a lot of chickens in the past. I love it. How'd you get that? Chassie, you should be a moderator now. I just clicked on your name and because now when I click it says remove as standard moderator. So I think you are a moderator now. That was easy. Yeah, see, maybe she did that one. Whoever that is, definitely. I don't know why people want. I've never had people troll me like this. Hide user on this channel is what I'll do to him. I don't know how to. What kind of, I don't know if that's a compliment or what. Secretly supernaturally strong, but looks like he's the nicest person ever. You're scary, but so inviting. Help me. I try to be nice. I try to be good to people. Yeah, now it's showing you as the moderator, Chastity. Do you ever do long driving vids with just the sound of driving? I've never done that. Would that be interesting? That wouldn't be boring to people? Yeah, it's somehow it changed her. It's showing like a little wrench beside Chassie's name now, and it's blue. So I think you just click on their comments, Chassie, and now let you do whatever you want. Are you a truck driver? Yes, I am. I punch drywall. You punch drywall. Have a blessed one, brother. Continue your day and finish it off with some. Thank you very much, David. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. This has been neat talking to you all. Seriously. Thank you, Marissa, very much. You've been very kind so far as well, and I appreciate that. Oh, maybe he's talking all hydraulics. Yes. You love punching drywall. Just subbed. Scoots. Thank you, Scoots. I appreciate that. This is awesome. This is cool. I'm happy with this live. I didn't even expect that. Because I was sitting there driving live and then pulled over into a parking lot and said, well, I'm going to get live and explain to them what happened. And then more people than I've ever had showed up. So that's pretty awesome. Pay attention to road, man. I'm not driving right now, James. The road is this. Take it easy, Scoot. I appreciate it. You stay safe as well. James G. Just unsubbed. Okay, James. I've got about 109,000 more, so I'll be all right. Thank you, Marissa. I appreciate it very much. I'm not driving and looking at the screen. And when I was driving, I had my GoPro on my head, by the way. James, if you didn't know that, I had a GoPro up on my head when I was driving, not my phone. Everyone hit the like button. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that a lot. What state are you in? Are you talking about where am I from or where am I in right now? I'm in Michigan right now. I'm from Kentucky. You'll sub again. I appreciate it, James. No, I'm not driving. I'm sitting in a parking lot right now. And earlier when I was doing my live, I had a GoPro right here on my head. You're not allowed to have your phone in your hand or you'll get fired. There's a camera on me all the time when I'm driving right here. I'll show you that camera. It's all right, James. It's no big deal. I'd understand too that people shouldn't be driving with their phone in their hands. Definitely not a commercial truck. But see that camera right there? It's on right now. That green light, that's on you all the time when you're driving. And it's a forward and backward facing camera, so it gets you in here and out there. Now at nighttime though, when you go to sleep, you can pull your curtain across right there and it covers that camera. And which I do because I don't like to feel like it's watching me all the time. But yeah, no, they would fire me quick for that, and I wouldn't blame them. Psalm 91 for you today. I'll have to look that one up, Jacob. It's good to hear from you, Jacob. There's the Jacob I was talking about that's thinking about getting in the truck, and he's from Kentucky. And he's thinking about going to rail. Chassie said, okay, I got it, I think. It applies so much nowadays. What are you talking about applies? I must have missed something. Right now I'm in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. I'm over the road. I'm a regional over the road driver. Put electrical tape on the camera. They'd probably fire me for that. Just some pineapple pizza without a mustache. That's a name right there. I don't know anything about you, but also, well, thank you. Thank you, pineapple pizza. That's a funny name. I appreciate it. How are you all finding my video? Like some of y'all because some of y'all that are commenting right now, I've never seen you before. Hey, Peter. Hello, Peter. There's Peter from Germany. Peter's from Germany. He's been commenting on my videos pretty much from the beginning. It's always good to hear from him. Hello, A. No, I don't speak Spanish. I wish I did. I wish I did speak Spanish, but I don't. That's a different name too. A. Just A. 72 minutes I've been on here. I've been on here a long time now. These go quick when you do these lives. They just go quick. It's been interesting. We usually completely unplug our driving cameras. Nobody ever says anything. Can you do that? Oh, well, you can. It looks like. What do? Just pull the plug out the side, I guess? Please unplug our driving. Hello from Bombtown. Bombtown. I'm not sure where that's at. Bombtown. Hello. Going to nap. I'll be checking out your content. Peace, bro. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. And no hard feelings. I wouldn't blame you for unsubbing if you see me driving down the road holding my phone at all. That's stupid, and I agree with you on that one. Hi, I love brother. I from Mozambique. Hello. Galamosi? Is that how you pronounce your name? Galamosi? Hello, Galamosi. Good to see you. Don't get in trouble, LOL. I'll try. If you're talking to me, I'll try to avoid it if I can. Somewhere in Middle East. Okay. Gotcha. You're not supposed to, but it's weird that the company can hear and see your every single move. It is. It is a little odd. From what somebody told me this, I'm not sure how true this is, but they told me those cameras don't activate until the truck goes so many miles per hour. But I don't know that that's true or not. Hello, Peter. Peter's a good guy. He's been supporting me from the beginning pretty much with my firewood and stuff like that. And he supports all kinds of other people in their comments as well. He's from Germany. I like Peter a lot. He's a good guy. About camera somewhere in the Middle East. Oh, yeah. I don't want to get in trouble, yeah. They'd probably fire me for sure if I taped it. Speak Portuguese. Gotcha. Galamosi. I not stand English. Speak Portuguese. Gotcha. Well, it's good to have you here. China, wow. Where are these coming from? I've never done lives where I've got random people like that. Which then again, some of these random people I'm seeing may be from my subscribers I've just never seen comment. Because I've got like almost 110,000 subscribers now. And those are mostly from my firewood channel. Mostly from my shorts of me just splitting big pieces of wood down the middle. And somehow people love to watch that. And so maybe some of these people that I'm seeing now are from that. I'm not sure. Because I've never seen some of these names before at all. And some of you, I can tell right now by talking to you, are nice to talk to. And I appreciate that a lot. But I guess I will get off of here soon. People seem to kind of keep coming in and going out. I'm a steering wheel holder. Hello, China. Hello, China. From the USA. Your first time commenting on this live, James Hagan. Oh, so that's your first time ever commenting. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen your name before. Well, I appreciate you commenting and everything. Let's see. And yeah, if you're interested in trucking, then yeah, check out some of my content later, and I'll have more of this coming year, on there as well. And I'll do more of these lives. This one right here is way bigger than any live I've ever done. Which I've not really done many lives, honestly. And the one that I did do before was firewood. So it's interesting in trucking that it's getting as much attention as it is, even though compared to some people that's nothing. But for me, it's a lot. I've seen all your posts. And haha, all good, man. It's hard to find companies, man. Yeah, it is. From what I've heard, lots of them are going to automatics. Most companies are going to automatics, from what I've heard. I'm a truck driver. My job is a truck driver. Let's see if I can turn this around and show you. Truck driver. I think if you go live on YouTube, it shows up all the live stuff that's going on at the moment. I am from Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky in the USA. Kentucky. Galamosi. From Kentucky. And I am a truck driver. That comment, I'm not sure what that... Yeah, I'm not sure what that comment is. Sorry, I can't read your comment. I can't read your comment. But yeah, I'm going to check off soon. I'm going to go on into this customer and see if they'll take me early. And then if they will take me early, I'm going to go ahead and try to get some more miles today. Because like I said, I've got like 230 right now, but I'm wanting to get a lot more if I can. And I'll keep doing these lives. This is awesome that this did as well as it did. And I'm glad to hear from the positive people on here. And if I can be of any help at all, I'm very glad of that as well. Safe travels, brother, and we will talk soon. Thank you very much, James. I appreciate that. You're very welcome, Galamosi. Very welcome. I don't have a CB yet, but I did kind of mess around on one time. Not being mean or nothing, but just kind of talking, goofing off on one time. When I was with my trainer, I did on his a little bit. When that guy got stuck, I got on there and I said, let's go give him a push, boys, or something like that. And they talked back and forth with me and said, I wonder if we could. Can you take me to learn English? Can I take you to learn English? Well, you did that. You spelled that one good right there. What's the best thing about rail? I think safety is a big thing with rail. Safety is probably one of their highlights, their high points. Safety, and then just that they're a mega carrier, mega carrier, and their training too. Like I said, Prime compared to rail with the training. Prime is like 6 months you got to be with your trainer. Rail is 3 weeks, and your trainer's awake the whole time. To me, that's very valuable training. When your trainer's up there sleeping and you're driving, to me, that's dangerous. I don't even think that should be legal. But that's rail compared to Prime. And then as well at the Gary, Indiana terminal where I got my CDL at, I thought the instructors did a great job too. So the rail has lots of high points, but I would say safety is probably one of their biggest things. They call that their cornerstone at rail. So good, Marissa. I'll do my best to put as much as I can, as much helpful stuff as I can, and I wish you the best with your truck driving career. I think it's a good career to get into. I really do. I truly do. What's your CB handle gonna be? What is that exactly? CB handle. I'm not sure what that means. Is that a term that I should know? That sounds familiar, but I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what that is. It's awesome so many people checked in and everything. That's a record for me with lives. which like I said, I've not done many. So, nickname. Are you talking about like a nickname on the radio? This is Alpha Falcon Pink Bunny Slipper to all drivers in the area. I'm whipping this truck like Dale Earnhardt. Alpha Falcon Pink Bunny Slipper. Now that's a name right there. I'm over the road. Regional is over the road. Regional is over the road as well. So regional isn't necessarily dedicated. Local is where you're home every day. To the best of my understanding, anyways, over the road is regional and national. Because you're over the road truck driver with the sleeper, you know. You've got a sleeper back here. So, like a lot of the guys that are local, they just have a day cab, they call it, to where they don't have that sleeper in it because they're home every day. That's a local driver. But to the best of my knowledge, I've heard some guys separate over the road and regional. But to me, from what I understand, regional is over the road. And so is national. I could be wrong. If I am, somebody correct me on that. But I get home Friday, and then 48 hours from the time I get home Friday, I got to leave that time Sunday. So if I get home at 5 p.m. Friday, I have to leave at 5 p.m. Sunday. I got 48 hours. But it was good hearing from everybody and everything. I'm going to get on off here, I think, and head on to this customer and see if they'll take me early. And then I'm going to drive and get some more miles. I'll try to start doing these lives more often. And I may even set a day aside later for when people's off work and everything. And try to start doing them regularly. Because it is pretty neat talking to you all. National is lower 48 states. That may be right. Yeah, I know, because I'm not going that far. I think I'm Midwest Regional is what they call me. Midwest Regional. You're welcome, Dan. You're very welcome. I wish I could answer that more specifically, but if I'm not mistaken, regional is over the road. It's just different than national. You're not out as long as you are national. Because they told me when I started with rail, I had to be over the road truck driver. But they gave me the option of regional or national. And I picked regional because I've got a wife and 4 kids at home. So over the road would mean from one side of the country to the other. Regional would be a certain area. Oh, is that how it goes? I'm not sure. That may be right. I'm not sure. All I know is when I started with the rail, they told me I had to be over the road, and they said that regional was, and so was national. But you may very well be right with that, Johnny, because I'm not sure. I'm a noob. So over the road would mean. Can I speak Chinese? No. I don't think so, really. I think ni hao. Ni hao, I think, is it. I think that means hello, doesn't it? Ni hao. I think that's the only Chinese word I know. I wish I could speak Chinese. I wish I could speak other languages. Maybe one day I will be able to. So national is lower 48 states. Dan, I may have answered your question wrong. I hope I mean, if I did, maybe Johnny's correct about it there. But I am regional. You're from the South as well, Carly, huh? I like it down south. I'm always happy to get back in Kentucky. Chinese with a southern drawl. Southern accent, yeah, definitely. Kentuckanese. I'm Kentuckanese. All right, I'm going to get off here, I guess. But it was good talking. It was good talking to you all and everything. I appreciate everything. I'm going to go ahead and end this live, though, and I'll plan to talk to y'all some more later. This was very fun, actually. You as well, Marissa. Take care. I wish you the best with your trucking journey. All of y'all, is good hearing from you, except for some of the bad comments. I didn't like them so much. Yes, sir, James. I'm going to do my best. Lord willing, I'm going to do my best. It was good talking to you and good hearing from you, and I'll try to do these more often. You all have a good one as well. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that a lot. Appreciate it. Bye, Chastity. I love you. If you're on here, my wife. It's pretty neat having my wife as a moderator. It's awesome. You all have a good one. Be safe and God bless.